Hello, Aries, and welcome to the Mystic Messenger Tarot. This is your reading for May 2018, and I wanted to apologize for my absence in April. I actually broke my wrist and cracked my little finger, but Spirit was really clear that I needed to take some time to self-heal, and I'm okay. Everything's okay. So I am back. And, of course, it was during the Mercury retrograde, which is always a time to be careful. But I am back. Lots of happenings in May, astrologically, but there was a full moon at the end of April, and that was in the sign of Scorpio. So it was very powerful, very passionate. Scorpio energy can be a little bit of the mask peeler. It can have some truths come to light. And it can be a little bit revolutionary. We have a number of planets that are in kind of revolutionary places in May. Mars is conjunct with Pluto in Capricorn, and will be there for 2 weeks. This is also a time to challenge belief systems, tradition, external authority, religion, and the patriarchy in general. So it's time to build new structures. In addition to that, Pluto has moved into its own south node. Pluto is a very small planet that does not move very often, every couple of thousands of years. So changes are on the horizon, and it has now moved into its own south node for the next couple of thousands of years. This will create a new cycle of unity and diversity. It's asking us to expand our consciousness and hearts and to tolerate differences a bit. It creates attraction rather than exclusion, and it's really an opportunity to be the model of unconditional love, so that's wonderful. Uranus is also moving into Taurus for the next 7 years, and Uranus is the planet that controls our higher minds. So this is also a revolutionary type of connection. Taurus will be also lined up with Mercury and Venus in May, as well as going, the new moon on the 15th will go into Taurus. So this will really kind of trigger all you Tauruses. It affects mostly the fixed signs, so lots of changes for fixed signs, which are Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, and Sagittarius. So having said that, let's get the ball rolling. So let me find my space, sweet Aries. Welcome in all the directions, all the planets. What is above, so it is below. And this is a reading for Aries for May 2018. Okay, looks like getting rid of the old and bringing in the new. A little bit of temptation. The devil is usually a temptation of some sort. Okay. May have some difficulty communicating a bit. The World is in front of you. That's a great card. Wheel of Fortune, also a great card. The Hermit, a little alone again. Naturally time. Possible saving for travel. The Five of Cups, I consider that, crying over spilt milk a little bit. Justice on one side of that, and the Two on the other. So let's see what Spirit has in store for you, sweet Aries. Okay, this is the 9, and 10s are the highest in the deck, and that's usually when something has come to a completion. So this is a 9. This means things are almost there, almost there. Don't quit at the 11th hour, before the end. But it does look like you have physically been getting rid of things, organizing things a little bit. That could be on the physical side, but it also looks like mentally you've been organizing things and making changes and figuring out what behaviors are healthy for you and what behaviors aren't, what friends, what connections with people, jobs. So it does look like you have been really looking at everything in your life and how it fits, how it works, or how it doesn't. And you are steadily getting rid of the people, places, things, jobs, houses that don't work for you. Trying to make your life a little bit easier. Good job, Aries. It's not an easy thing to do. Can be very frustrating, but ultimately it is extremely healing. This handkerchief on his head is lighting up for me, and it's feeling like you've been thinking about doing a lot of these things for a very long time, and now you are putting action to these thoughts. So whether it's manifesting a new place to live, whether it's manifesting jobs, or just an easier life for yourself, it looks like all those things that you have had in your head for months and months, you are now kind of propelling into the physical world. So good job, Aries. That's great. The devil here, that usually that means a test of some kind, or some behavior that you don't want to give up on, or a relationship that you know is toxic, that you're just having trouble getting rid of. But realize that it is toxic. That part isn't going to change, whether it's the home, the job, the partner, the friendship. But there will be a test. If you've taken a step back from this, the test usually is, especially if like you've cleaned up addictions and you've been sober for a while, you know, there's always a test. Somebody will have, you know, make you your favorite drink if you're sobering up from alcohol and try to hand it to you. That's the type of test this is. So it's a test of the change in behavior for the better. It's just one more little dangle of the carrot. Are you sure you want to break up with me? You know, let's go out to dinner and discuss it, kind of thing. So of course that is your choice, but it will propel you backwards, not forwards. So don't be surprised if you get a little test this May. What is above you is the 4. This is, it does look like some emotions are involved. Cups are emotions. What I'm feeling is that you're having more than one choice for something, whether it's a new job, a new house, a new partner, but something that is being presented to you. You have more than one choice. And it feels like you're really focusing on these 3 things, but the one that is healthiest for you is right in front of your face that you're not looking at. So make sure and look at the big picture. Don't just narrow your focus to the things that have felt comfortable in the past. If something, you know, if you're given the choice of a new thing and an old thing, I encourage you, sweet Aries, to take the new road. Try something new. You can always turn around and go down the other road if the new road doesn't work out. But it does look like expand your awareness to more than just the choices that you're focusing on. That, you know, this is a great big world, and if you have the opportunity to move, it doesn't mean just moving down the street. Take a look at it. Do you want to live in Spain? Do you want to go to South America? You want to live on an island? But that's what I mean. That's just an example. Open up your awareness to all of the possibilities, but there's something right in front of you that you're not looking at that would most likely benefit you greatly. The healing energy of the orange is lighting up here, so it really feels like you're healing your heart, you're healing your head. A little bit of frustration about it because, you know, it takes too long. I used to say instant gratification takes too long. So collect your patience a little bit and let it be shown to you before you make any grand sweeping decisions, because there is always more than one. Okay, the 5 here. This looks exactly like it is. It's a little tumultuousness, a little static. You know, you may say the sun is bright and someone might hear it's a nice day. It's not what you said, but it's close. So it looks like maybe some of your words in the recent past were getting misconstrued. It's not what you said. It's close to what you said, but it isn't what you said. So it looks like you may have to step back from a situation. And it does look like it's a little bit tumultuous. It feels a little staticky. And this card also can stand for uncomfortable attention. Like if somebody's flirting with you and you don't welcome that type of thing. So it is spring. So this could be also what's happening is you're getting a lot of attention that you're really feeling uncomfortable with. All right, here is the 9. Yet again, that's another 9. So you are almost done with some situation that you're moving into. Cups are also emotions. This feels like this can stand for inheritance of money. This can stand for new jobs. It can stand for gifting, but it also can stand for the gift of clearing your head, putting things in perspective. Some of you may have gone to therapy recently and had a breakthrough. So it's kind of like a breakthrough card right before the ending of things. The blue curtain is lighting up for me. And when I ask Spirit this, if what this means for you, Aries, it feels like your life is calming down a little bit, that the puzzle pieces are falling into place, that it's not requiring so much action and so much headspace on your part as you're relieving yourself of kind of some of the mental things that have been going on over and over in your head for it looks like a number of years. So it looks like you have found an avenue to release some kind of that stress and tension. It is allowing you to get to the purity of your emotions, and it does look like you're learning to work through your emotions instead of being reactionary when somebody presents something that kind of triggers you. So it does look like you're finding your calmness, you're finding your space, and the stance here kind of lights up for me, whether it's meditation or yoga or Buddhism, or some kind of spiritual practice. It can be walking in the woods for those of you that do not connect with the God source, or connect on an atheist level, but it does feel like you have found the formula that helps you with your calmness a little bit, and it looks like you've been putting it into action more and more and more, so getting validated. And when I look at your spread here, it does look like a lot of the challenges from the past have been dealt with. And the future looks a little bright here. It looks really bright. It does look like you're going to take some alone time. It does look like you're going to protect yourself a little bit. And there may be some sadness or sorrow or grieving, either over death, divorce, or discovery, shall we say, the D's. The world is in front of you, so now that you cleaned out your emotional closets, some of you may have physically moved, so it looks like there's a clean slate. And the world is a great card. It's the highest exalted card. It's like what the world is in front of you. You have a clean slate, so you can put in there whatever you want. You can choose to reignite some of the old negative behaviors, or you can choose to embrace the changes and to continue on those changes and make life a little less cumbersome, make life a little easier, and finding your bliss a little bit. So, you know, the world, everything's open to you when the world is here. So what have you always wanted to do? Start moving towards that, whether it's travel, or whether you've always wanted to be a teacher, or whether you've always wanted to read this book. Carve out that time for you to make your wildest dreams happen, or at least start the plans of making your wildest dreams happen. It is right across from the Hermit, and the Devil is on the other side. So that is always a temptation from holding you back from your greatest good. This feels like your greatest good over here, and this feels like all the jive and caca that you went through over the last year, maybe even year and a half, Aries, to get where you are today. So hopefully you'll be able to walk past that test and get into this world space. The Hermit is here. That's taking your time, carving out alone time for you. It is a 9 also, so there you go with the theme of the 9s. And the Hermit is really different than the other kind of exclusion or alone card, which is the 4 of Pentacles. The Hermit is a higher exalted card. It's really one of getting in touch with the greatness of you and the God of your heart, or the spirit that lives within, and really finding out what you want to do without all the clatter and din of the world and other people's opinions. Sometimes it's, you need to isolate yourself a little bit more solitude than kind of running away. The 4 of Pentacles is more like creative isolation. It is like running away and pushing everybody away. Whereas this one, you're consciously making a choice just to have some alone time so you can finalize your plans. It is right across from the world. It is also on the line of where the static is. So it feels like you just need some alone time to figure out what your next step is that's best for you and your family unit without anybody else's opinions, manipulations, ideas. It's time for you to get in touch with what would help you grow. All right, so next is the 2. This, all 2s are about balance. But this is, it looks like you're really looking at your wildest dreams. Some of you may have been embroiled in raising children or taking care of aged folks, or doing 3 or 4 jobs to pay that mortgage. It looks like some of that has lightened up. The kids may be older and the parents may be in a care facility now or something like that, but there is a shift. So you can take a look at what you want now. You have a little bit more free time to make those choices of the heart. The family legacy key is lighting up here. It looks like you're keeping the good stuff from the family and really not participating in some of the more negative habits that haven't served you in a while. So it does look like you're letting go of some things, some people as well. And really taking a hard look at what you want to do. What's the 5-year plan? Where do you want to go? Water is involved here, so travel may be involved. Some of you may, as I said, there feels like some movement. So you may be physically moving your home. You may be redoing your room, painting your house, but something to do with movement in the home. So who knows, you may be moving near water or just going there for a vacation. But it looks like water may be involved over the summer, over the next couple of months, just to clear your head and to get things in order. But the healing has really begun. I've noticed the orange is just really vibrant in this reading for you, Aries. So the growth is happening. There's green as well. So the growth is happening. And the healing, the general healing color, a color can mean different things for different people. What I am feeling, the vibe here is the orange color for you, Aries, is really facilitating your change, your growth, and your healing from the inside out. It's been a while, but you're jumping through a lot of things that have been really fearful for you, that you've put on the back burner, just ignored them, and now you're not ignoring them. I know my dear sweet sister is an Aries and has not been driving for a very long time. She's in her 50s and she is jumping through her fear and getting that driver's license. So go, girl, go. So that's kind of the analogy for most of you Aries. You're jumping through your fear, just like learning to drive. It's scary. It's very scary. But as you drive more and more and more, you get your confidence, you get better, you start looking out for things. So that's kind of the analogy that's happening in the big picture, Aries, is you're jumping through your fears. Yes, it's still scary, but it's not quite as scary once you jump through them. It's never as bad as you think it is. So the 5 is here, kind of the culmination card. It does look like you are grieving some of the changes that have happened in the past. That can be, anything from a relationship that you let go, whether it's an intimate relationship or whether it's a friendship. You may have had to change jobs. You may have had to move. But whatever those changes are, you're grieving them a bit. But it does look like you have other things to be excited about. So it doesn't look like you'll stay in that kind of suspended grief place for too long. And it does feel like when the devil comes and you march past the devil and march past your fear, that these other positive things in your life will become the focus, not so much the grief. So I encourage you to feel that grief. But not necessarily stay there for a very long time. But it's exceedingly important that we feel it. Otherwise, it rears its ugly head years and years later at some inappropriate time. So it does look like you are grieving this. But don't forget about the good things you've created as well, sweet Aries. To the left of this is justice. So there may be some legal stuff involved. For those of you that are leaving a relationship, it may be a divorce. For those of you who are maybe selling a house or finishing up on something like that, it may be the paperwork, but it can be something just as easy as paying your tickets and, your parking tickets. But something is coming to a close, and there will be justice and equality when it ends. So don't give up. On the other side, you are still a little protected, a little defensive, but maybe not overtly defensive, but you're really protecting your heart. The X, or her hands over the heart, really feels like the heartache that you have been through over the last couple of years. And for many of you, it may be decades if you are really changing up your relationship space. But you're super protective about your heart right now. As you continue to grieve and to release, if this is around a relationship space or a friendship, something like that, this will kind of dissipate in the future. But for right now, you're really protecting your heart. But in time, it will open up so you can love again, or release some of the frustrations if you're in a committed relationship. But it does look like you're super protective right now over your heart. It's not a bad thing, it just is. Okay, that is a reading for the month of May, Aries. I am going to throw a couple of these chakra cards for clarity. And they're one-word cards, and they usually just bring it on home. Let's see. Dissipating. Okay. Things are lessening and lightening in your load a little bit. You're embracing a little bit more of your joy and your bliss. Handing people responsibilities that are theirs. And really embracing your own responsibilities and handling them. So your fear is dissipating. A lot of the negative stuff is dissipating. Let's see what else. So start using your instinct. If it feels funky, it usually is. So trust the God of your heart, God of your head a little bit more. If your hair stands up on your arms, pay attention. Your spirit's trying to tell you something, Aries. All right, hon. That is your reading for the month of May. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. I will be back. I promise I'll be back at the end of this month for your June reading. And in the meantime, live life gently, but with fire. Namaste.